I'd like to call to order the City of Twinsburg Caucus meeting for October 22nd. It's 7 p.m. and we're in council chambers at City Hall. Shannon, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Fury?
Here.
Mr. Post?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Present.
Mr. Bellin?
Here.
Mrs. Labby? Here. Mr. Bonacci?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
All right. Thank you, Shannon. Next on our agenda is presentations. We have the Human Resource Director, please. Amy Cahill is going to come up and tell us about how we're advertising for new jobs.
Yes, good evening. So the city had been using a platform, Civic HR, for the job postings, and that was end of life. So the city is transitioning to another platform called NeoGov. It's a platform designed for local governments. So we are in the process of transitioning that. So if anybody's been looking for job postings, there's not any currently up, but we should be ready to go live by the end of the week. So if anybody has any questions, when they see the new platform or in the meantime, please give us a call.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions?
That was
Thank
easy.
you very much.
Thanks,
And
Tammy.
good evening. All right, next on our agenda is audience participation. Shannon, do we have anybody sign up?
We do. First, we have Colleen Rubin.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening,
Hi, Mrs. Rubin.
Council, Mayor. Colleen Rubin, 2259 Sandalwood Drive. Tonight, I stand before you to discuss serious offenses that have recently come to light in our city. We have witnessed attempts to suppress free speech and vilify courageous officers. We have seen unfortunate narratives and disparaging rhetoric proffered, yet these detrimental actions will not hinder our relentless pursuit of justice and accountability. One of the most recent and alarming revelations is the conduct of Chief Thomas D. Mason, who is engaged in serious misconduct that should alarm every resident. According to public records, Chief Mason stands as the registered owner of an unlicensed security service called JTM Security, LLC. This company operates illegally in direct violation of Ohio law, which requires licensing and registration for any entity providing security service. Moreover, it has come to light that Lieutenant Brian Donato of our own police department is also involved with this unlicensed company. His request for approval to accept this outside employment was granted by Chief Mason, creating a blatant conflict of interest and undermining the integrity of our entire police department. Taxpayer-funded resources are being misappropriated for the chief's personal financial benefit, Lieutenant Donato's, and others in the department, and this must not be tolerated. This is not a look of impropriety. They are breaking the law. Since the inception of JTM Security on May 23, 2019, Chief Mason may have amassed over 2,000 counts of first-degree misdemeanors. Additionally, concerns spiral further when we recognize that Chief Mason's operational activities could explain the staggering 45,000 miles of unaccounted for mileage logged on his city vehicle. The misuse of taxpayer resources is a serious issue that cannot be easily brushed aside as a perk of the job. Even worse, the ramifications of these unlawful actions extend beyond the immediate circle of corruption. Chief Mason's son, Tyler Mason, has been found showcasing his affiliation with JTM Security on social media, LinkedIn specifically, an act that compounds the illegal infractions already committed by this unregistered security service. Per Ohio law, the advertising of unlicensed services is classified as a third-degree misdemeanor. Therefore, the chief's son is also breaking the law. We must initiate a thorough criminal inquiry from the Bureau of Criminal Investigation into their actions and potential charges, not just for Mason and Donato, but for others involved who have manipulated and falsified official reports. We know that we currently have a police chief, along with Lieutenant Donato, who are brazenly violating state laws, yet face no accountability. The silence in the face of these transgressions can only be considered complicity. Sorry to bore you, Mr. Freary. Mr. Mayor, are you going to sit there and allow your chief of police and lieutenant to break the law and utilize Twinsburg resources for their own personal gain?
You need to direct that question to the chair.
Council,
No comment at this
Same.
time.
City Council, what kind of oversight are you offering the citizens here? Must our city council members be
Actually, I'll answer
reminded
that.
their focus should
I'd
be
happy
on
to answer that.
exposing
What
the
oversight
truth?
am I doing? I mean, I'll give you some extra minutes, but we can talk about oversight. I mean, the investigation.
Oversight of what?
Oversight of all these, fantastic claims that you've made over the last 6 months. Tammy spent 6 months going through everything that you had put out.
You
and has given you evidence that it didn't happen.
Okay, sir, all due respect.
Hey, here's all due respect.
All due
Your
respect,
husband's a
this
lawyer.
is my time,
No,
my
actually,
time.
it's our time. It's
And
our
therefore,
time.
Tammy said she investigated
Yeah, and we
Lieutenant
put it out there,
Donato's
120 pages. I had it out there in
expectation-
June.
the allegation that he was utilizing city time for his own business.
That's new.
And
I don't have that one yet.
it's in what the mayor put out. Yes, you do. You spoke of it several months ago, sir.
I'm sorry, I get so confused with the same thing coming back and back again and
Do
again.
ya?
I do. It's hard. I'm old.
That's your problem, not mine. And you know what? If that's the case, then maybe you need to retire from city government, because we need people that know what the heck they're doing,
Well.
okay? So therefore, Tammy and the mayor said they looked into Lieutenant Donato and his allegation of working outside of the city on city time.
So how
Lieutenant-
does this relate to your T-shirt of TPD3? I don't understand that. Can you explain that to me?
Have I mentioned the TPD3, sir?
No, but you've shown up for the last 3 months with a shirt that said that. I don't understand how that relates.
Okay, this is my second time wearing it, but thank you for noticing
Son,
what
okay.
I wear.
Well, it's a
That's
different
really
TPD
inappropriate
shirt. I thought
also, but that's what you are. So,
That
moving
wasn't very
forward,
nice.
Mr. Mayor, I will go back
He's
to
not going to
this.
talk to you. He got to
I
refer
don't
to
want
me.
him to talk to me.
Okay.
I'm just asking him to think about this.
Okay.
Are you going to sit there and allow your chief of police and lieutenant to break the law and utilize Twinsburg resources? City council, what kind of oversight are you offering the citizens here? Must our city council members be reminded their focus should be on exposing the truth? It is time to prioritize what is right, period. We must demand action from our leaders. Therefore, I formally call for the termination of Chief Tom Mason and Lieutenant Donato. I would be remiss at this point to not mention the TPD3. The wrongs they have been falsely accused of do not come close to the illegality of Chief and friends. Why then would the chief and his accomplices be able to keep their jobs? This cannot be passed off as poor judgment or ignorance, like Lieutenant Donato's defense for his get-go theft, which is how that was classified. In conclusion, we must uphold justice and demand integrity that we deserve from our elected officials. We will continue to advocate for justice and accountability in Twinsburg that so far we are not getting. And on a personal note, how many more meetings must I come to make residents aware of the improprieties and illegalities of the police force? Are you not ashamed that you have allowed our city to become a spectacle in the news media for all the wrong reasons?
Time.
And for your followers
For a minute.
who like to blame me for most of this, I have done nothing.
I don't have followers, by the way.
But
I'm just saying, I don't know what you're
You're-
talking. Well, this is the part I can
Followers.
respond to, though. I thought you wanted me to answer
you know
questions.
what? You're right. If I look, there's plenty of followers. Okay. That say that I did all of this. This is me. I put the van out there with the signs. Nothing to do with it. Not the point. You want to blame me, and that is okay. All I do is stand here and state the truth, no matter how pleasant. And what burns all of you and them is that you cannot fire me. Please, all of you, do the job that you took an oath to do and that you are being paid to do. Facts are presented at this counter every 2 weeks.
I think opinions are set here every 2 weeks.
No, sir, these are facts. This is
we've
public
looked into your
record.
facts, and we don't.
That was
I
public
don't agree
record.
with your facts. And
Really?
again, I don't understand how.
The mayor put out the public record.
TPT-3 thing, you're not telling me what we did wrong with the TPT-3. As Mr. Barr said, those 3 officers were released for cause. They're
Oh,
going
really?
through a process.
Okay,
to
sir.
just-
Is it
I'll let you go.
cause to release the chief of police and Lieutenant Donato for running an illegal business?
I don't believe
cause?
they are.
Really?
No, I don't.
Well, you know what? I think Homeland Security might disagree with you.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, ma'am. Who's next on our list?
That's all we have this evening.
Oh, great. Okay, next we go for items of discussion. Do we have any?
No.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Then we're going to go to legislation. Pending legislation, ordinance 114, 2024. This is the recodification of the existing and various components of the codes and city ordinances. This includes ordinance passed by council, those passed by the electorate, and numerous sections of the General Office Code amended and acted by the General Assembly. Council is being asked to suspend the rules and place this on an emergency so that we can get the amendments in as soon as possible. Are there any questions? This is an annual event. We do this every year. We pay to have the books codified. Are there any questions? Okay. Next, we're going to go to ordinance 115, 2024. This is an ordinance for a change order on the East Idlewood pedestrian bridge. The amount of the change order is $15,000 and includes additional length and handrail, additional time to bring the additional steel and tire to the cage for the optimal reinforcement, and minor consistencies in and complete the project. So council is being asked to suspend the rules so we can do this $15,000 change order and fix the East Idlewood handrails. Any questions? I'm going to put that on an emergency and knock it out. Ordinance 116, 2024. This ordinance is to repeal 88, 2022 and authorize the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Summit County for the AT&T Vesta-hosted solution. The city's dispatcher center is set up to have 4 stations. By entering in this agreement, the county will be paying for 2 of the 4 positions, with the remaining 2 will be under contract at a discounted rate of $10,200 per position. This contract will go through December 31st, 2030. The council is being asked to suspend the rules and pass this on emergency. Are there any questions on adding these positions to the dispatching with the software? Any questions? Okay. Resolution 117, 2024. This is to appoint 1 member to the ARB due to a vacancy. The name that we'll be doing is Bob Petty. We've talked about this. We're going to do this in emergency for the ARB so that we can fill the spot. Any questions? All right. Then we have 118 is the reappointment of 2 members to the JEDI Committee, which we did interviews earlier today. And the names that we would look to add to that on a motion are Elizabeth Horton and Aminder Singh. Everybody in agreement with that? Okay. All right, those will be on reading tonight, and we'll do that on an emergency also, so we can get those people into the JEDI as quickly as possible. Resolution 119, 2024. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with the city of Reminderville to retain certain police and fire dispatching services. This is a 4-year contract, and we'll be talking about this later as this is its first reading. And that concludes the legislation portion of our meeting. Is there anything else or any other miscellaneous items that caucus or that council would have? Excuse me.
I got a question. We have ordinance 93, 2024. That's the one we talked about the council, looking at.
The table motion.
Council rules.
The table motion.
Yeah, the table motion, the one at the end that we talked about changing over council and then we never did and all that. Do we need to keep that here forever?
So it's tabled, so the way you take that out is you have to have 5 votes. And we have a subcommittee which you are on.
Right.
And you will get an updated version of those rules this evening or tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll have a
Surprise.
meeting. Lawyers, you got to wait for them someday.
Right.
They're busy. They're doing 7,000 records.
Gotcha.
So anyway, we've got the verbiage that we wanted to
Okay.
put together for a certain section. Shannon's putting that in there. She's going to send it to you,
Mr. Bonacci?
Mr. Bonacci, and myself.
Okay,
We will-
perfect.
We will discuss them, and
Perfect.
hopefully we'll close that out before the end of the year. And then the next council president can take it up again, because the rules get reviewed every year to 2 years. And
Okay.
we didn't spend as much time on this because typically we'll sit down with the lawyer and work those things out, and it was just challenging here to get that done.
Gotcha. I appreciate that explanation. I just didn't know if we were still going to move forward with anything. That's why I was just asking if we should take
Shannon
it
and I
out.
have been working on this, no, we're on the other Jordan, we're the other lawyer now.
Oh,
Yeah.
it looked like you wanted to say something. That's why I pointed to him.
Okay. I wanted to also point out for council that Shannon and I put it down there in the footer, as a courtesy to the public and the council, that this is still on the table, and we intend to
I understood
that
that.
model moving forward with any of the items that,
We've done that in the past where we stuck tabled items at the bottom, so.
Right. Again, it's been tabled for so long, I didn't know if it was just like a
Couple months.
perma table.
Jordan has been working on it, and.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan did some language that we got back. And
We love it. Thank you.
And I talked to him yesterday, as a matter of fact, so we got things done.
Glad to know you're moving forward with it. Thank you.
Well, we'll be moving
We will be
forward.
moving forward with it.
Got
That sounds great. I look forward to working with you.
Anything else for the caucus? Any other miscellaneous?
Can we,
Okay.
can we jump into this? Do we have time to do that now? We have almost 15 minutes.
Okay.
Do we have time to
How
do the
long is the
executive?
executive session going to be?
Do we have time to work on that now or start that?
Yeah,
We got almost 15 minutes, 12 minutes.
All right, so
I guess we could,
do I make a motion to add an executive session to the caucus?
you can just make a motion to go into the executive session.
I make a motion at this time that we
But
go,
this is- The motion would be the same one as the end.
make a motion that we enter into an executive session, discuss matters pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G, 1 and 3 personnel, employment of public employees and officials, pending litigation and conference with attorneys for items concerning the city.
The second.
Mr. Post seconds, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Post?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Bonacci?
Yes.
Mrs. Labby?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.